When starting a new season, we'll need to go into Product Manager and load in our new varieties and other information. From the Tools icon, scroll down and find Product Manager. When you open Product Manager, notice the black area on the left-hand side is a filter to filter down your list. If I only wanted to look at fertilizers, I could simply check fertilizer and the list will be filtered down to only work with those items. I can do the same thing by crop, or I can also do product form. Also notice at the top of the filter there's an Available and Archive button. Available means we are looking at the available varieties and other products that are available to use that will be created in a setup file. Archive is similar to Retire, where they are removed from view and not able to be sent to displays. I can take an archived item and make it available again if I need to do so. In this case, we're going to work with the available list. If I have some varieties, I'm going to go ahead and just select corn. If I have some varieties that I want to take out of the list and archive, I can simply check those varieties I want to remove or archive and select Archive. If you archive the variety, it does not delete any data or maps that were associated with that information. If I would like to add a new variety, simply come up in the top right-hand corner and select Add Product. You can perform a search for a variety out of John Deere's database. If I wanted to search P1197, I can see there are several different varieties already preloaded in the list that I can select and add to my list. I can also edit the name, put in my manufacturer brand, and pick crop type. So I can see my P1197 has been added to the list. If I wanted to add a product, I could do a similar process. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to liquid. I'm going to add a product, and in this case I'm going to add a type of chemical. So Valtima is a new fungicide that I'm going to be using for this year. Select that and then add next. Keep in mind you can add multiple products at one time before hitting next. So if I wanted to add another fungicide, I can add several different products before I move on to the next screen. Notice if you choose a preloaded list from the database, in many cases the EPA registration number will already be filled out, but I do have to pick the chemical form on several of the chemicals before it will let me move on to the next page and save them. Also note, if you're working with things such as 28, you have the ability, if you want those to be available as a carrier for a tank mix. So now I can see my Valtima and Quilt Excel are now added into my list. Also note, under manufacturer brands, those can be filled out but do not have to be. Keep in mind, if you add several chemicals with several different manufacturers or brands, those brands will also show up in the 2630 when looking through your seed selection list. So it could be beneficial to go in and edit the brand name so you don't have a list with many brands when choosing your seed varieties. Also note at the top there's a preferences icon that chooses when you bring in a setup file through Data Manager whether you want to import any varieties, tank mixes, or chemicals that were added into the display that are not currently in your product list. You have the ability to always import or never import from the setup file. I'm going to leave mine on always import.